Welcome to the LongBox Paradox. I am Dan, and this is Jen. Comics will break your heart. Comic books will break your heart. We are your friends, and you'll never have to be alone again. So thank you for joining us after our week gone. Jen hurt her back, and I needed a break.
Yeah.
But you may have caught us on John's Comics with Kids Ten of Swords breakdown with Chris, Chaos and Comics, which was great meeting him. It was a super fun episode. You can catch the replay on John's channel. And he wants to, after Reign of X, do another episode with us, breaking down Reign of X when that happens. I'm always down to talk mutants and all of our different takes on some things that we agreed and disagreed on.
Yeah.
Also, little housekeeping. I got booked for the show on January 29th. Rodney Barnes, the writer of Philadelphia, returning to talk all things Philadelphia with us.
If you're not already liked and subscribed on here, you should like and subscribe. It's down here somewhere, wherever the hell it is. Subscribe. Because last time Rodney Barnes was on the show, watched that one, and we're anticipating we'll be on our best behavior. I don't know about Rodney Barnes.
We will join by D from FTO Nerd Talks. He'll be joining us for the first time, and I already kind of gave him a forewarning that Rodney can be a handful. And for the Dune Over return, we will be joined by a new panelist, Victoria, Read Across the Stars,
who is a goddess among us mere mortals. If you have not caught her YouTube channel going over the books that she's read, I have bookshelf envy for her. Man, she kills it.
I created a monster because she's been uploading every day, and I'm like, all right, I get you're on vacation, but tone it down a little bit. You're making me look bad.
Nah, I'm on vacation next week, and I assure you, I'm going to say I'm going to do something and then totally not do it.
100%. On the end of the month, I got my birthday weekend off, so I got 5 days off, and I probably will, other than the one live stream with Rodney Barnes, do nothing.
Yeah.
And then we have Scooby Apocalypse, Gambit's book club pick for this month coming up. Anything coming up on your channel?
I've just been doing Sunday shows. I'm trying to figure out maybe doing a Wednesday thing. Other than that, I have a million ideas and I'm just not getting to them. So maybe one day. So you should just go like and subscribe, and it'll be a surprise. For both of us.
In my link tree, I have all of our panelists and people we associate with, links to their channels, and also Jen's Patreon. I added that in.
Thank you.
Actually, you barely mention it anymore.
I really don't. I don't want to, it's one thing to be like and subscribe. That's a free thing. But it's another thing to be go follow me on Patreon, So if you don't want to follow me on Patreon, but you want to support, just, go find me on them internets and say what's up.
If D Comic Queen's watching or watches this later, thank you for that really nice Instagram story last night. That was very sweet. I hope you get some sleep soon. Okay, so we're doing kind of like we did with Ten of Swords. We're going to start each show with Future State, since that's the big story right now. And of course, my morbid curiosity of how DC will fuck it up, because there's a history there. I remember what we were talking about, that we were saying that it may be compared to was Future's End. That was that storyline with all the jump in the future stuff where they had the many Batgirls. So let's get the big title out of the way.
I assume we're talking about the same big title for it. Okay. I have the variant up there too, but
this Jenny Friesen cover,
beautiful.
So stoic.
I want to pull it down. Hold on, I've got to show it too. Hold on, give me a second. Where are you at, girl? Where are you at?
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
So this was one of the titles, because as soon as I saw Joelle Jones was writing and doing the art, where sometimes with an artist the writing is kind of it hit
like
and miss.
Mirka Andolfo, which, love that artwork, but with the writing, it just wasn't never there for me. So
No, I think Joelle's come a long way as a writer since the beginning of Catwoman. This one was I enjoyed a lot. Like I kind of knew from the art alone I was going to like, but I thought it was a fun story.
yeah.
I was very amused by it, and Yara Flor reminds me of Jaquita Wagner from
Okay.
Planetary with how like impatient and everything she is, and kind of snarky.
100%. I got a lot of Magic vibes because
Yes.
like she's here to like kick ass. She's here to just like get stuff done, and she's gonna do it. No matter how she has to do it, she's gonna go over, under, or through you, which Magic can go over, under, or through me all at once whenever Magic wants. Same with Yara Flores.
This was a fun book, and like I'm just like I need her to stick around. I like enjoyed this so much. Like hey John.
Hi John. Thank you for being here while working. Can't wait for your show tomorrow morning. I was like, I don't have any bagels. I need to go get some bagels for a Saturday morning. Like that is legitimately my thought. Like I have to have a bagel ready for your show and watch you folks eat some bagels.
So what were your thoughts on this book? Like I thought it was so much fun.
I think that honestly, I went in, I knew that she Yara was going to be from like Brazil, from the Amazon rainforest, but I honestly had no expectations other than just that. So I'm a little glad my daughter didn't jump into the stream while doing her class. Yeah. We'll start off rated R and then maybe get a little bit PG-13 later. So anyways, I really enjoyed the character. I thought the story was fun. I feel like I need a little bit more from it. Like I wanted more backstory. I know that hopefully we'll get that. And I think that I've seen that this character is going to continue on after Future State, Infinite Frontier. Is that what it's called?
Something like that.
No. Yeah.
I can't remember. I know like the one thing like they did say in the story in the beginning is like sometimes you're just the right person at the right time, maybe not the best person. I really enjoyed it a lot. I'd say I'd highly recommend it. Like 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
And kind of what you said, where they didn't really give you a lot about her character. It was like, here she is, and she's kicking ass like immediately when you go right to her, and she's got a big sword that.
Yep. I loved her interaction with, is it Jerry, her horse?
Yes.
Like
the horse is an asshole.
It was adorable. I think I'm very curious how they're going to collect these in trades, because I believe that this one is just going to be a two-parter.
They're all 2 issues.
Well, I mean, some of them are 4.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, some of them are 4. Let me see. Next Batman is going to be 4. Let me see. Dark Detective is going to be 4. Yeah, I think that one was the 4. There's a Superman one that's going to be of 3. So I think this one is going to be of 2. So I'm curious how they're going to wrap these up, like how they're going to do collected issues. But I want to see more of Yara.
So maybe the 2-issue ones, they'll wrap those into just one trade.
And maybe do like $9.99. That I think would be a good price point.
Probably. Since you mentioned it, let's go into that one. Was it Superman of Metropolis? I kind of knew I was going to have a tough time with it because Sean Lewis can be very glib.
I love Sean Lewis. I absolutely loved Coyotes, loved Thumbs, love Bliss. So I think that I do, and this makes me realize that I enjoy the indie stuff much better.
Yes. I think the writing just didn't fit the character. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't it didn't resonate with me.
I really did, however. So the Superman of Metropolis, I didn't enjoy that story as much. However, I did enjoy the
Miracle Man.
Miracle Man story. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I don't know if it was the combination of Brandon Easton and Valentine Delandro.
Brandon
So,
Easton, what has he written? I didn't really
um,
recognize him from anything.
I cannot think of it off the top of my head. But I really enjoyed this. I liked the artwork a lot. I liked this story. Um, Spoiler alert for a lot of these stories is that I feel like there is a like social justice movement going on in the background of all of them.
Yes.
It feels like, maybe with the exception of Wonder Woman. I can't recall if I saw it in Harley Quinn, but that was kind of like a bottle episode because we only saw her in like one place, really.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, in Batman, in Superman, in maybe not Swamp Thing, but the Flash, we saw like social justice movements going on in the background. And considering what happened on just a few days ago at our nation's capital, like reminiscing about the footage that I saw with that, it was kind of weird, and I think it clouded some of these titles for me.
Gotcha. Let's get to it. This is the one.
I didn't hate it, but I feel
sorry.
like
I had a 5 on Superman. Like, it was okay.
I would probably give it a 7, but that's because the main story or the first story was a 5, but the next one was an 8. So I guess 5.5, or sorry, 6.5, 7. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, the next Batman, for something that it's been talked about for a year, how John Ridley was writing this Batman title. There were parts of it like I wanted to know more about, but at the same time, like, I was bored.
I'm going to give this book, this particular like one, I'm still going to give it a 9 out of 10 because we didn't get any pearls. So, the bar has been set so low that as long as I don't see those damn pearls, I'm good,
The one backup story, though, I did
with Katana.
That one was okay, but there was another one there was one more. Oh, the Arkham Knight one wasn't too bad, but the Katana one was okay. But the main story, like, I don't know, like, it gave me nothing.
I didn't hate that one. I enjoyed the Katana one better than that title. And I did not really enjoy the other one. What is it, Outsiders or whatever it is?
The Arkham Knight one, I think, was the Katana one was the Outsiders.
Got it, yeah. So I didn't enjoy that one as much. It felt like, to me, this is just too much going on. It was just a lot for me to maybe process. Maybe I'll try to go back and read it, but I did like that I got Blade Runner vibes from it. But I think that that's maybe what Future State is going for almost, is that it's going for, because we're living kind of in this dystopian world, the magistrate, and getting some like Watchmen vibes. So I think that we're getting that dystopian feelings from these. That was totally what we were supposed to get from this. So I did enjoy that.
I'm probably at like a 6 on it. And again, like, after a year of hearing John Ridley's doing this, I really loved the other history of the DC universe.
Yeah, that was really good. That set the bar really high.
Yes, and I think that's part of like reading it. I'm going, like, I want to love this, but it's just not doing anything for me. A book that shocked me was Harley Quinn.
I really, really liked that one as well.
It was like the Blacklist.
I think that especially the artwork by Stefan DeMeo.
Yes.
Simone DeMeo.
Simone DeMeo. And Stephanie Phillips was the writer of Butcher of Paris that I loved from Dark Horse. So her doing the kind of like serial killer, like Mindhunter thing with Harley Quinn, I really like. The Derek Chu cover, I very much enjoyed. I'm weirdly at like a 7.5 on this. Like, I usually go into Harley books thinking I'm going to hate this.
And it wasn't bad.
No, but I really enjoyed it, which I'm going to keep with it for
the next issue.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, what a commitment.
That's the one thing that is kind of nice, because as much as a lot of people hate reboots, and I wouldn't necessarily call this a reboot, but I know that people do hate it whenever, whatever continuity is fucked up, but that's comics, baby. So, but the good thing about this is that you can probably find one title that you enjoy and pick up 2 issues, and then that's it.
Yeah, and like yeah, some of them are $5, but it's a 2-month commitment.
I honestly went in thinking that each book was going to be $8, so
I thought they were too. It turns out it was just that Generation Shattered that was like $10.
Yeah.
And I was mad at myself for getting it because it was fucking hot garbage.
And then the next Batman was $7.99, the Superman of Metropolis $5.99. And then, when you think about getting, like, I bought 3 copies of Wonder Woman because I bought 2 issues of the main cover and then one of the variants.
I got the Adam Hughes cardstock Wonder Woman 84 variant just because I always buy Adam Hughes.
Is that the because no, that's I got this Harley Quinn variant as well.
Oh, I didn't get that one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to. There we go. So I did end up getting this one. So, like, when you think about it, like, it is $5 plus the main title. So I do get that, but I just think that these covers are so beautiful. It was hard to pass up.
Flash, I went in expecting to really hate it. I had no real knowledge of the writer.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Williamson's run was so good that I just didn't want to start judging it.
Yeah.
I had low expectations going in, so I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I'm not saying it was a great book, but it was very, very busy.
I feel like out of all of the titles, most, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, especially those 2, maybe Swamp Thing, I feel like you can go in with a very passive knowledge about those characters. Like, you don't have to read decades worth of stuff to enjoy it. I feel like Flash, and maybe it's just because I'm not as familiar with Flash, I feel like the Flash book was the one where this is going to be for hardcore fans of the Flash, where
Very much so.
Go in reading this having a lot more knowledge than I do, and that's, I would say that I have some knowledge, not zero, but I feel like you would really, really like this if you know all of Flash's history and Flash is like your favorite character. I think that you would like it, but not knowing very much at all, it was meh for me. Very meh.
Yeah, I had a 6.5 on it. I'm very steeped in Flash, and just it was okay. And I guess I was expecting a little bit more or something a little bit different, and this wasn't really much different from what a regular Flash story might be.
Mm-hmm.
Which now brings us to a book that I very much enjoyed. And this is dovetailing off of Ram V's Halloween special, Swamp Thing, where he pretty much had the standout story of that book. Yeah. Swamp Thing was fucking great. Like, I'm not even gonna like hide what I felt about it or get clinical. Like, it was so good, and it's one of those things. It changed. It was its own story that you could jump in without knowing anything about Swamp Thing and just
like
know,
very passive knowledge. Like, you just know that Swamp Thing is a creature from the swamp. He's a thing from a swamp.
Earth is fucked. Plant creatures exist.
Post-apocalyptic Swamp Thing, like.
And Ram V fucking walks in and did Hickman dumps. He fucking did Hickman dumps about the anatomy of how, like, they made the muscles and shit. Like, I was like, wait, whoa.
I feel like if there was any writer who could take over and give such care to Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing, it's Ram V. And this is the one that I feel like I knew going into Wonder Woman I was going to enjoy. I had pretty high expectations, blew it away, loved it. Probably had even higher expectations for Swamp Thing, blew them away, absolutely love it. I think that what Alan Moore really, really did was the care that he had for the character, making a human monster, a monster human. And even in this book, the way that Ramvi is writing Swamp Thing, saying how, because like Swamp Thing is basically like regenerating and having this conversation as, you know, remembering being built, being grown, and like in the form of a human, and saying, I how do I make myself emotional when I don't even know what emotions are? How do I create my nervous system to be human when do I even really know what it is to be human? Like seriously, Swamp Thing is so good. Thank you. I
Thanks,
am the
John.
dark. I really appreciate that because low key, and I'm not even gonna like hide the fact that I have Christmas lights. They're discount Christmas lights from last year that I picked up at the grocery store. I picked these up when I picked up my like cheese and bread, and I got discount Christmas lights, and that's my lighting. So
I enjoyed the art of Mike Perkins in this. Mike Perkins is like one of the sweetest people I've met at convention. I got a giant commission from him of Magic and Shadowcat. So like seeing his art on this and the way some of the plant creatures are, I like how in the monologue, internal dialogue, like Swamp Thing's like it. I was overjoyed when I saw Heather jump for the first time with her new muscles. Heather like looks up to the Swamp Thing, disappointed by the fact that he's looking for these humans. Everybody's kind of upset that he's looking for these humans, yet they keep following him. What do they call him, grandfather or something, or Father
oh my
Green?
God, no, they call him the Green Father.
Yes.
And so because Swamp Thing is low key my boyfriend, he's now Green Daddy, Daddy Green. I love Swamp Thing so much.
So I'm almost at a 9 on this book.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There was not much that I didn't like about it. I think that any criticism I could even try to pull out of this book would probably, I assume, is going to be resolved in the next issue. So
yeah. So anybody from DC like watching this, like, why don't you go
because
ahead?
DC watches this.
Why don't you go ahead and just make this like an ongoing and just keep Ramvi on it?
Well, Ramvi is taking he is doing a post future state book. He is.
Okay, because like I was just like like there hasn't been like so the Lemire Snyder run of Swamp Thing was okay, but it also Charles Soule, excuse me. But it was too much of the green versus the decay versus the red and all the different types of like totems. And I want more of kind of like the gothic horror, but
yeah,
this dystopian world where the plants kind of fucking took over is kind of interesting.
it really is. And they're going through trying to find like who are the human people. Let me see this really quick because I have
Hey,
okay.
Kim.
Hi, Kim. So Swamp Thing is being written by Ramvi after this, and it sounds like there's going to be a different Swamp Thing than Alec Holland. That's kind of the vibe that we got from it. And then Ramvi is also going to be writing Justice League Dark. So I'm very excited about that because as someone who's never really given a care about like a lot of Justice League stuff, obviously the Justice League Dark, I guess would be my vibe. I'm really glad that
Zatanna in it. I'm a Zatanna fan, so I'll pick it up. So a mixed bag for week 1 of this. Like there was like 2 fucking standouts, and then you had like a lot of middling.
I would say 3 standouts because I think that I would say Harley Quinn was a standout, and I think that it was definitely, in my opinion, it was carried by the art by DeMeo. If anyone wants to correct my pronunciation, please do. So DeMeo's artwork, I think, was fantastic. I think that if anyone is enjoying We Only Find Them when They're Dead, please pick up this Harley Quinn book because it's
that's why I knew the name. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, where the fuck do I know that name from?
Mm-hmm.
I guess this kind of ties into it, so I'll bring it up. Generation Shattered. Like it kind of like spun into It was expensive and it was garbage.
I saw that it was $10 and I was like, I think some of the other like holiday specials that I picked up were kind of meh. So I'm like, I'm not going to go ahead and pick this up. I'm buying 3 of some of these. So I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and skip that.
And that was a good move.
That's where my dumb bitch money ends, apparently. That's where I draw the line.
I kind of wanted to bring up something because we didn't get to talk about it last week. Department of Truth. Did you read that last issue?
Oh my God. I don't think that I did, but I did not. I think I read half my stack from last week.
The Q. Oh boy, it was heavy.
Ooh, I now wish that I had read that last week, because I think going into this week, considering that QAnon like took over the Capitol.
Yeah.
So really quick, I do like just kind of want to like tell this story really quick. So I went comic book shopping this Wednesday, and my partner and I are in the first comic book store, and someone's saying something about like, oh, like these crazy people not accepting the election results. And I'm like, okay, they're just mad in Georgia, I guess. Like, okay. And like talking about that. And so like we're just walking along, like, another hour passes by. We finally get to the second comic book store. We get there, and Nick at the comic book store is like, yeah, this is crazy shit going on today. And I'm like, yeah, like Georgia, man, that's awesome. And he's like, no, these people stormed the Capitol. And I'm like, I have not touched my phone in 2 hours. Like, what the hell is going on?
And apparently defecated in the hallways and smeared shit on the wall.
Missed that.
Evolution.
Yeah. So that was Wednesday for me, processing all of that. Of course, my area, like all like 5 shops in the area, didn't get new comic books except DC. So I was able to pick up my DC books, and then finally got the other books yesterday. So I stayed up way past my bedtime yesterday reading. Like, I go to bed at 10 o'clock and I was up till midnight. You're rolling your eyes because you're like,
I'm people saying I went to bed at midnight. I'm just like,
I'm a grown adult, and I will make my bedtime.
10 a.m. I go to bed. I mean, not by choice, but so we'll go into our regular picks.
This week was a pretty heavy week. I think this is all my non-DC stuff here. So it was kind of nice. I was worried. I'm like, man, I don't know if my shop is going to get the books before Friday. But luckily, UPS or Diamond, whomever, pulled through. My local comic book shop pulled through.
You go ahead and do your first pick.
I know this is one that we were going to talk about. I wanted so much more from this series, and I mean, it met my expectations, but I want more. I hope that we get a second arc, and that's Getting It Together. So Getting It Together #4 ended this arc, and in the back of it, I think it's Cinegrace, yeah, or Omar Spahi and Cinegrace basically say, we have plans for it, but we're waiting to see how the collected edition sells. So this may or may not, this may or may not get a second run, especially in this economy. So I don't know if this is going to get a second run. I really hope it does, because this is like the millennial sex positive version of Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
If they don't release it at $10, they fuck themselves. That's all I'm gonna say.
The only thing that with this is that I feel like in the first issue, we're meant to follow her ex-boyfriend, when in reality, the story is all about her. So
everything's about her constantly, apparently.
It really is. And so I think maybe I kept going into like issue 3 or issue 2, issue 3, thinking it was going to be about not Sam, I forget.
Yeah, Sam, and then her brother Jack.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be more about Sam, but it was actually more about her and the band that she's in. So I wish it had been marketed with the band in mind. But, we can't all be Kat Salazar.
It also, it weirdly also had I felt it tied up their relationship at the end kind of neatly, where they became friends. Spoilers. And I was like, oh, that's at least a nice ending to like how shitty everything was between them. Apparently, all you have to do is drop Molly at a concert, and you can work out all your issues.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be at a concert. You can do it anywhere.
Jack learned how to be a good hoe,
yeah,
not a bad hoe, as we learned last issue.
So I thought this was, I don't want to say strangely wholesome, but I felt, I don't know. It talks about modern relationships a lot. I don't think that this went to an edgy place in the same, like the only other comparable book that I can really think of is going to be Lonely Receiver, and that is far more like dystopian and like a mind fuck. Compared to that, this is wholesome, even though we learn about sounding and other, sexual, I don't want to call it a fetish, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're squeamish, don't look up sounding. If you are not squeamish, go ahead. We'll talk about it.
I thought as a last issue, if it is going to be the last issue, it kind of landed flat with me. I don't know. I guess I was expecting something more explosive, and then it was just like, oh, well, it's kind of a happy ending. I was not expecting this.
We're so fucking jaded as adults, especially like coming out of 2020. Like, I expected someone to be murdered, or
Well, like, especially like with this and Bliss kind of came out around the same time, and Bliss, it's just like, where are we going? Like, what's the next bad thing that can happen?
Yeah. Bliss, I think Bliss is going to get really good. I think it's going to get like happy. I hope. Who knows?
I don't know. Like every issue, I'm like, it's going to turn it. No.
So, overall, getting it together, and this is a really dark cover, so I don't think you can really see the detail in here. Just how this book is cool. So I don't think that I want to go ahead and say this issue, I'm going to go ahead and maybe give like a 7.5. But the series overall, I'm going to go ahead and maybe give it, I would say maybe 8.5. Because I enjoyed the series. So
it was one of those things where it was like a fantastic first issue where both of us, I guess because we had low expectations, it was like, wait, what the fuck? This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me while I rant. So Death Metal #7 came out.
Death Metal 7. I didn't read it this week. I don't know why. Tell me all about it.
I'm gonna be very vague because like it's fucking gobbledygook. It is fucking gobbledygook. Beautiful Capullo cover with the two Wonder Womans touching hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're playing patty cake. Stop with the fucking metal books. Just fucking stop it. I don't want any more fucking Batman Who Laughs or whatever fucking bullshit. Like, Snyder, I like you. You're a nice dude. Let's just stop.
I think what it is that I think it was an interesting concept, but I think that it was definitely marketed towards like two groups. And I think the two groups it was marketed to were like older comic book readers who thought that just slapping a metal title on it would be like edgy, and maybe like 15, 16-year-olds who also thought that slapping a metal title on it would be like edgy and cool. But I don't know. The whole series kind of fell flat.
And also, like, there's like this weird thing where like they're all at the fucking Justice League satellite with the villains and they're partying, and fucking Wally West is playing drums. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't.
And that makes me like, maybe this will help me like go into issue 7 and enjoy it a little bit more, because I do feel like I finally enjoyed issue 6. Like, I mildly enjoyed all of them as like for entertainment purposes, but issue 6 got me. I felt like that was the first issue that I enjoyed. So I'm going to see what it's like going into issue 7.
Well, I keep going like, what's the point of it? What the fuck? And that's the big thing. What is the point? And how do I get there?
Yeah. So overall issue rating, what would you say?
It's a 5. The series is a 5 too. Like it's nonsense. Was it all just to get to fucking future state, or this 5G bullshit? Which 5G with the way QAnon and all that, like.
Wait, 5G? What do you mean?
So they were going to call the like 5th generation 5G. They were, when this whole future state thing, when Dan Didio was around, he had this big plan of they were going to like reboot the universe again and call it 5G.
I'm so glad they did not do that.
Yes. Oh, for fuck's sake. Like, it just. By the way, did you read Colonel Weird Cosmagog, the last issue?
I think I missed that one last week. There was a lot of stuff that.
I think it was last week, yeah.
I think I feel like I read that, but man, my short-term memory, long-term memory, both of them, middle-term memory.
Gotcha. Go ahead, your next one.
Oh, my next one. We were talking about this very briefly. I really wanted to like this one. I thought it was going to be cute. I could have gotten more from it, but The Last Witch from Boombox. Maybe this one is just going to be Boombox. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I thought it was. Oh no, it's Boom Studios. It's their kids line.
Yeah. So I think that I feel like this is going to be a little bit better in a trade. I thought it was mildly cute, but I feel like it was just someone watched Brave and was like, I'm going to do that story, but make her a witch.
What's up, Roscoe? I felt it was fucking tropey, and it was biting on wind a little bit with the art style.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I just felt like I've read this story before. I've seen this story before.
It felt almost predictable, like as far as how it kind of goes through and ends. I do have to say, though, I liked a lot of the Celtic lore in it. I thought that was really interesting. I know that there's a lot of words that I am mispronouncing in my head as I read this, but I did enjoy the Celtic lore that this brings in. I'm sorry, Mars.
I also
I liked it, but I didn't love it. I'm sorry.
It kind of reminded me of that movie, the Gretel and Hansel.
Oh, I didn't watch that one.
It was long. It was made by the same guy who did the Black Coat's Daughter.
Yeah, I definitely won't be watching that one. Sorry, not sorry.
No, I unfortunately watched it before we watched Black Coat's Daughter, and I should have known what I was in for. I'll give it like a 6.5. Like, I don't know. Like, it just felt too tropey.
I'm always going to bump it up a little bit, so I'm going to say like maybe a 7.
Shit show by Scout Comics.
No. And the reason why is because I felt like it was just going to be another scumbag, and I was like, I can't.
I wasn't able to get Scout's Honor or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, I got that.
Everybody was like talking about it, and I wasn't able to get it.
I thought that it was really interesting. I wasn't sure how this one. Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I'm curious to see where it goes. But if you can like sell shit show to me, please let me know if it's any good. But I feel like it was like kind of around, or it came out or announced after Scumbag, and I'm like, this feels like Scumbag, and I just feel like I can't do it.
Oh yeah, I've got a book to talk about.
Is it? I think I know which one you're going to talk about.
Eternals by Kieran Gillen and Asad Ribic. Why the fuck did Marvel think this was a big enough property to have fucking 35 covers?
I was so disappointed in Eternals. I thought this was going to be so good, and I expected more out of Kieran Gillen.
I did not like it at all, and I was very surprised that I did not like it.
There there were like kind of moments that I enjoyed, but Kieran Gillen has been doing this a lot in the recent issues of Die, where he ends up, or he does a lot of the thought bubble, what the character's thinking, and then what they're speaking. Thought bubble, speaking, thought bubble, speaking. And I feel like that's, my attention span can't do that. Just, minimize both of those. And in this, there was so much of that. And I think that's why I did not like it as much.
Marvel pushed this book so much, and I'm like, nobody cares about Eternals. I don't care that the movie's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'll watch it, but like, 35 fucking covers. 30 fucking 5.
Maybe it's because I think that we got a couple of new characters, so it's going to be like first appearances and things like that. So I'm really surprised I haven't heard more chatter about that, but.
It was blah. It was just blah. Like, I didn't think it was clever in any way to hook me. Like, yes, Assad Ribick's art was nice in there.
Yeah.
But like 5.5 for me. Like, and for me to say that about a Kieran Gillen book is weird, because I usually like really enjoy his writing, and I did not enjoy this book.
Maybe, the one thing that I did enjoy, and, I do enjoy, I don't know if this is spoiling it, the end, the person who shows up at the very last page, I am stoked about. I'm just going to show it. I'm not going to say it. So if you just want to like keep watching, but like mute or like take your ear pods out or whatever, or your headphones. But this bad boy shows up, and I thought that was really cool.
Let them weep.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of exciting. Maybe we'll get more of that in the next issue.
I'll check out at least the first 3 issues just to see if it gets better.
And okay, so maybe also the cover for the next issue has this particular character on the cover. So I am excited for that. I think that I'll probably pick it up just for that cover.
Would you give it like a 5,
6.5, maybe? I don't know. It's all made up and the points don't matter. So that's my rating system.
Your next book.
Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And I don't say these things very often, so please record this if you need to. I was wrong about crossover, folks. I thought that this was going to be a lot more explosive, and I fucking hate myself. I still will die on the hill that I think that Solid Blood will relate into crossover, but maybe we'll get it in issue 4. That's maybe my hope.
Love letter to Image Comics, huh?
This is 100% a love letter to Image Comics.
Weird, because the characters that appeared from not Image Comics.
Yeah. So that was kind of weird.
Donny Cates, hey, remember that title I did for Dark Horse like 20 years ago? Here you go.
Yeah. There is one point, I think that maybe the one thing that I really did love, because the way that this is a love letter to Image Comics, is that man, and I cannot even think of her name, and I hate myself for that. Ellie. So she's in the bathroom, and you see that she's wearing a sweater, and it has the non-compliant symbol on it. So I thought that was really cute.
Okay, so I have a possible, I think there was somewhat of a clever thing in there of, so we find out where Ellie's from.
Mm-hmm.
Very like, hey, this is happening. Hey, this happened, and this universe, I'm not going to spoil it, but I felt like it was kind of an analogy about Alan Moore escaping.
Especially because, like, the squid, 100%. Yep.
I could be wrong, but I know, like, Donny Cates had spent time with Alan Moore in London.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, but, I forgot. Yeah, the Neil Gaiman run of Eternals wasn't terrible.
Yeah. I feel like I remember that run more than Kirby's run, actually.
Yes. Because Kirby, like, he did the Eternals and he did New Gods, and they're basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah. I think, he wanted to like do his own ideas though with New Gods, but they are. I almost prefer New Gods because I like that world, but that's
DC
yeah,
fired him from his own book
yeah.
that he created. So again, this Rick Astley dust, like it Rick rolled us
So hard, especially because Donny Cates was like, you're going to want issue number 3. Like even in the solicitation, it was like, you're going to want issue 3. If you don't get it, you might go mad. And so I see what they did there. Yeah. So
especially like the drawing that she did, you think is Superman, and it's not.
It's not.
But again, though, I will say, like, going into it and then finding out where Ellipses is from, you're going, okay, you put a fucking squid monster there.
Yeah.
I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then I started making the Alan Moore like analogy of like, okay, like I see. We're trying to the shop at the big. Do people not know that character?
I feel like it's a little bit more obscure.
Okay, I feel like you've seen it. You might not know the character, but you've seen the character.
Yeah, but I do think that if that was going to be a book that you would recommend to someone, you'd probably recommend 100 other books before you even get to that one.
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe if you were going to go like, oh, if you liked, I don't know, maybe Invincible, or if you like.
But I feel like if you mention that creator, that's one of the first names that will.
Yeah, that's true.
I know we're dancing around it, but really, like, you kind of have to read it to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to ruin the surprise for you, even if you're underwhelmed by the surprise. What did you give it, or what would you give it?
I would say I give myself a 5 for having such high expectations. So that's the real truth. But overall,
it gave me a lot of joy because I finished reading it and I was like,
you're like, and you know what my dumb bitch ass did? My dumb bitch ass did.
About all the variants.
So I got 2 different variants, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's like different things inside the different variants. There's not. Spoiler alert. Dumb bitch day. So I would probably give it at least like 8. I just think that the whole series is good though. So
I'm at a 7. This was probably for me the most enjoyable issue of the series. I still think the characters are fucking trash.
Says the person who stands Rick Remender.
At least they have likable, like, some of them have like likable traits. Like I still can't find them.
Books in crossover were not moving at the right local shop. One of them sold out due to speculation. I picked up and it was for Jones Art that sold it. There was one.
The Jen Bartel, Becky Cloonan, Immortal Wonder Woman is the one. Like, I'm just buying everything.
There was one speculation book, and I'll just go ahead and mention it here, that I did buy, but I actually really wanted to read it because I like the comics better than I like the like actual movies. But High Republic wasn't horrible.
So I have a story about this book.
Ooh. What's the tea?
So I went to my LCS on Wednesday to go buy it. He pulled every copy off of the shelves and put them all on eBay. And he told me that if I wanted to buy the Stephanie Hans one, that for me only, instead of charging me $30, would charge me $20.
How nice.
I guess that's $1 for every year I've gone to him.
Yeah. I'm really glad that my shop is awesome. And I picked up the last 2 copies, and Nick, who rung me up, was like, we wouldn't let anyone else get 2 copies except for you. So I'm pretty sure as soon as I left, they're like, I fucking hate Jennifer. I'm just kidding. I love them. I hope that they love me too. But I did end up getting 2 copies because I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I think that the Star Wars universe in comics is so much more fulfilling than the movies.
Well,
So
Star Wars, it's gone spec crazy, like because everybody's like, it's new characters, gotta buy it all, gotta buy it all.
Which there are, but if you're doing it just for the speculation, you're doing it disservice to people who want to get into the franchise. So,
And it sucks because I always buy the Star Wars books, like, even the ones I don't like. So, and I'm like, so even the normal cover is like, yeah, like the normal cover, like $10 for you. I was like, fuck no, I'm not paying 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, so, yay. Victoria was nice enough to say that if I wanted a copy, she'd send me because she doubled up. But nice. I told her to go ahead and flip them. Make money if you can.
Yeah. I'm not flipping mine. At least, if I'm going to flip them, I'm going to flip them like 3 years from now when a movie gets announced.
Well, she had the Stephanie Hans one since it's...
Oh, yeah. I want that Stephanie Hans variant, but you can't win them all.
No, you can't, and I didn't. So I just ended up buying it from Comixology and just... At least I have that option. I'm gonna tie together 2 books here because I'm kind of annoyed. So,
kind of.
X Factor and Hellions came out, and I was trying to like ride the post Ten of Swords wave. Fuck these books. Like, really, like, I don't need them. Like, they both just offered me nothing.
Yeah.
And I remembered why I wasn't buying them to start with. And it's like a constant smack to my face of like, dummy, the crossover's over. You didn't even like Hellions during the crossover. Why are you doing this? I did it with Excalibur also, where I bought it. I'm like, why did I buy this? I hated every Excalibur. Still don't know what happened to Betsy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and Sinister's cape got returned to him.
Oh, I feel like they're tying up some loose ends to like get things to go back to normal. I honestly thought that Ten of Swords, because you kind of like end up getting a couple of each book or one of each book, at least one of each book throughout the whole run of Ten of Swords, and I'm like, okay, this is a pretty clever marketing way to get me to buy one of each. And now that it's over, I'm barely even doing like King in Black and all of the crossovers there.
I'm behind on King in Black. Like, I just can't get to it. Like, my read pile, because just stuff was going weird last week.
Yeah.
I didn't even read The Last Nailbiter yet. And that's usually top of my pile.
I actually read that one last week. It always surprises me with how bloody and gory it gets.
So it had that like throwback retro cover. So like I always love when they do those. And also Philadelphia from last week last week. That was a good issue.
It was a very good issue, but the relationship between Sally Hemings, I actually like. Sally Hemings is a hero of mine. I actually like wrote something about her, but I'll get into that another time. But Abigail Adams and Sally Hemings let me rephrase this. In all of the letters, because there's only a couple. Sorry, I'm going to go back even further because I am a Sally Hemings stan. Sally Hemings was a slave that Thomas Jefferson owned throughout her entire life. She was 40 years younger than he was, and he raped her, and she had several of his children. He said that upon his death, that Sally Hemings would be free. Lie detector test determines that was a lie because it did not happen. Her brother killed himself. The several letters that mention her that Abigail Adams wrote said that Abigail Adams hated Sally Hemings. 100% did not like her. She was a young and stupid girl, in her opinion. So if you want more history facts, come and follow me.
That was like.
So, anyways, that was Philadelphia.
Fascinating in that issue. Also, Tevin Seesaw comes back. And his discussion with John Adams was awesome, where he's just like, oh no, you needed to die. He's like, I killed your ass. He's like, wait, you killed me? He goes, oh yeah, like you need to learn a lesson. But if you want to come back, I'll find you a body.
Yeah.
Because you got to make things right. Your wife's going nuts.
Yeah.
I really thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's interesting because this is such a bloody book, but it also has like these like moments that kind of are tender and take you out of it.
Yeah.
Especially when we get into it, Rodney, like that whole issue with James Sr. going through the afterlife. So fucking good.
I do want to I'm doubled down on him talking politics, because he was like, because he even told us in the last interview, he's like, you can see that I didn't pick a side. And I just want to be like, it really feels like you're picking a side, my friend. But you know.
Yeah, because I remember him saying, like, there's all the isms and, like, also like Abigail, like they even talk about her like complicated things with John, where she's like, I had to end things with Sally because, it's my husband, and, he had this grand idea of what he wanted to do. So she always ends up, she might not like him all the time, but she still like respected him.
Yeah.
But the part where she's like, I'm gonna die, and then she's like thinking back to all this history, and then like, no. And it comes back because in the comics, John remarks, there was a point where she just started saying no.
Yeah, that was fun.
So it was nice seeing that come back. Hello, John.
Hi, happy Friday.
Oh, and your other show, Hero and the Kid, are in the chat.
Oh, now I see it. It popped up here before it popped up. Hi, I don't know if it's Sean or Will, both of you, but we'll see you later tonight. And with Fandomverse, I am so excited to have her on, because I think that I love her videos. So I'm gonna fangirl out a little bit.
Don't think I know her.
Awesome. She's awesome. So very excited to chat with her. She also does bodybuilding, so that's cool.
Did you read Dreaming Waking Hours?
That's on my
TBR.
TBR, the 2 that are left. So I'll probably get to those in the next hour or so.
Okay. So the Founding Fathers aren't all in the book, Gore. Thomas Jefferson makes a couple of appearances, and maybe more. We have a backup story, Elysium Gardens, which may or may not be Angela Davis.
It is. Don't even tell me that it's not Angela
Malcolm
Davis.
X made an appearance in this last issue.
You cannot tell me that's not Queen Angela Davis.
Also very exciting for issue 12, the last issue of the arc. In Elysium is Bill Sienkiewicz is doing guest art with Jason Sean Alexander in the last part of Elysium.
Is Jason Sean Alexander, is he doing something else right now? Did he get announced to do? I feel like I saw his name attached to something, and for the life of me, I can't remember what that is.
I haven't looked through previews, so that I might not have seen it. I'm looking at what else. I didn't get to read Kaiju Score number 2 yet.
Okay, so I've read it. It's not bad, but I feel like, and I said this about the first issue, and 100% going into the second issue, this book I feel like I would enjoy it a lot more if it went to the other side of humor, because it has like little moments of humor, but I feel like if it had really went wacky and zany, especially with the artwork style, this would have been a lot more of an enjoyable book.
Gore, the first trade is $9.99. Go ahead and pick it up. The second arc is wrapping January 20th. We're also going to have the writer on January 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you read and want to ask some questions to the writer, we will get them on. Yes, super excited. And yes, you should read it. It's one of actually the best horror books, and Image did not promote this book. I still think they did a horrible job promoting it.
Mm-hmm. And especially when it came out, I think I had seen it and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. And then you highly recommended it. And I think at that point it was like 2 or 3 issues in. And luckily I was still able to grab 2 or 3. And I think that we're going to get a show or a movie out of it. He's writing a pilot.
He wrote the script for the pilot. He had posted that.
So I honestly hope that it ends up as a show, but we'll see.
I hope so.
Maybe we'll get.
I need to be on a pay station. I also want to ask him about the things that make white people uncomfortable that he's working on.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that he's working on. So excited to talk to him. Like, I feel like I do want to talk to him about Philadelphia things. I also want to talk to him about like all this other stuff that he's doing. So stay tuned because we'll be talking to him.
Yes. Again, very excited about that. Was there anything else you read? Like, I'm behind on Scared Good. I was going to read 2 and 3 and I never got to it.
I didn't even buy those because I didn't love the first issue. Like, there's dumb bitch money and then there's dumb bitch money, and like it's run out. So,
I clicked on things on Comixology, and I was just like, why did I just do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting premise, but it just didn't push the bar enough for me. A couple other things that did come out. Sleeping Beauties #5. I don't know when this series is going to wrap up, but I feel like it needs to get there. This was still pretty interesting of a story. Issue #1, this first issue came out in a week where I hated everything. And this is the thing that I hated the least. You remember that week. So There was like 5 or 6 first issues of things that came out that week. And I hated every single one of them. This was not one of them. I mildly enjoyed it because I think that Texas Blood came out, Dead Body Road came out. Maybe 7 Secrets came out. Hated all of it. All of them I just didn't enjoy, and Sleeping Beauties was okay.
So that Texas Blood got better, but the damage was done.
Yeah. So that was good. I also picked up Knock 'em Dead #2. This one is kind of a weird one for me. It's going to a weird emotional space that I really like. I think that Aftershock Comics is doing some really interesting things. Like Lonely Receiver is obviously one of my favorite titles from last year, and Knock 'em Dead is good, but it's not like Lonely Receiver for me. So this is another one I read.
It makes me a little nervous that the Autumnal still hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, because that one came out the same time as The Unkindness of Ravens, and that was a 4-issue miniseries. So that just wrapped up, and it was good. I enjoyed it, but I'm ready for the Autumnal.
And I didn't get to read I Walk with Monsters #2 yet.
Okay, that one was good, but I feel like we didn't get as much information in issue 2 as I wanted, but we'll get there. Inkblot, I think this one is wrapping up.
I didn't read it yet.
I think that this will be so much cuter as a trade. I hope they go the route of $9.99 trades again, because this one is going to be a really good.
I feel like a lot of these titles need it if they have any hope of catching on.
Yeah. The other 2 that I read, okay, so the last 2, maybe 3. So I did read Scout's Honor. I really enjoyed it. This one does the post-apocalyptic stuff right with Boy Scouts. So think if Lumberjanes was post-apocalyptic Boy Scouts. Yeah. It was enjoyable, very enjoyable. It's not a fun book. It is kind of depressing, but it was a really good title. Okay, so Unkindness of Ravens to be continued. Awesome. That's what I like to hear. The other 2 titles that I read this week, Return of the Valkyries. I expected more out of this. Didn't love it, but I'm still here for Valkyries. So
I did pick up the Art Germ Brunhild variant. It's gonna be not a big week next week.
Oh, sorry, I have one more.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just happening to flip through. Oh, MODOK came out. I knew you were.
So MODOK #2. I strangely love MODOK. There's some moments between MODOK and Iron Man in this, and Iron Man calls him an oversized Funko Pop, and I just lost my shit because it's adorable. This one's only going to be like a 4 or 5 limited series as well, so that was the last thing. I mean, that I have, but I've got 2 more that I'm going to read later.
Oh, John's back.
Hi,
hey, John. So like Image this week, like there's not a lot coming out, like, or at least not that I'm excited about. A Man Among Ye, I didn't like. Big Girls #6 is still coming out. I might pick up the Scotty Young variant just because Scotty Young and it's kind of cute. Commanders in Crisis comes out.
And issue #4, right?
4. Yes. There's a Kevin Wada Thirst Trap cover. A lot of Department of Truth second prints come out for #1, 2, and 3. Haha by Maxwell Prince comes out. I'm not too excited about that, but I'll check it out.
I'm not too excited about that book, and the only reason why I am picking it up is because of W. Maxwell Prince and my feelings about Ice Cream Man.
Homesick Pilots #2 comes out, and that Christian Ward variant is fucking incredible. That Texas Blood trade comes out, which it might be a better trade than single issue, maybe. Marvel Comics, it's More Amazing Spider-Man. It's like Chris Claremont Anniversary Special. Immortal Hulk 42, which I can't wait to hear your thoughts when you start reading Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, I know he's not in the chat right now, but I will just go ahead and mention that Bullseye Bob from Everything Comics sent me like a little like AOK package, which was so nice. So I finally read Kanto. I've heard so much about this, and I feel like this was an adorable story. It was a really quick read. I would have never picked this up.
Nat loved it.
I can imagine Nat loving it because it gave me the same vibes as the Kill Lock. So this was it was cute. It was wholesome. I think if you like D&D stories, like you'll like something like this. But he also sent me the first 3 volumes of the Immortal Hulk right here, because it goes apparently to a much more horrific place. So knowing that I like horror stuff, he sent these to me, and I consumed Kanto like in one reading, could not put that down. So now and then I had to read this stack over here. So excited to read 3 volumes of Immortal Hulk. I'm trying to catch up with everyone with doing Victoria Read Across the Stars 90 graphic days, which is 100 graphic novels in 90 days. So I'm trying to catch up with everyone.
There's a assload of like King in Black books tie-ins coming out this week, like insane amounts.
I feel like I haven't been loving a lot of I enjoy the main storyline of King in Black. However, some of the spin-offs or crossovers I didn't love, like the Union was from the first week, didn't love it. But the covers that I saw for next week, like I actually want to pick up several of the covers. They're just going to be cover buys for me.
The Gwenom Carnage one I thought was really
yes, I am so pumped. It's so funny because I've been like when I rearranged my bookshelves behind me, and I completely forgot that I had this Gwenom pop. And so I saw the cover and I'm like,
Marauders #17 has a LaRocca Aliens versus Marvel cover. Ooh. And it's Kate with with and it's Storm versus Callisto in this issue.
Okay.
So I'm like 100% down because it's been a long time since we had a Storm versus Callisto throwdown. Star Wars Darth Vader, I've been enjoying that series. Sword #2 comes out.
I didn't really love. I honestly thought I was gonna like Sword. Magneto makes an appearance, and I thought I was gonna like it. Didn't.
He's in this one as well. It's got Fuckboy Cable, so like. Might call for his mommy and
You
daddy.
sold me on it now. Just kidding.
I'm going to try the Union #2. #1 was kind of eh. Boom Studios this week. I never picked up Origins.
So okay, I picked up that one.
Was any good or not?
I enjoyed it. What issue #3 is coming out?
Yes, 3 of 6.
Okay.
7 Secrets #6 comes out. I'm still getting it. Some issues are good, some not as good.
Mars, I don't know if she's still here, but she loves 7 Secrets, and I dropped that one after the first issue. I'll probably pick up the trade though. So
we only find them when they're dead. #4 second printing comes out.
Oh, okay. I was like 5 already. Okay, so #4 second printing.
The indies, like, again, this is like Autumnal comes out.
Oh, finally, cool.
So that's nice. Blade Runner has another Peach Momoko cover, so I'm gonna
Blade
buy
Runner
2049 or 2029.
2029. You know, I didn't hate. Maybe I did. I don't know. I didn't love issue 1 of that.
I hated it all, but like I keep buying it just because they keep having good covers.
Yeah, I'll probably still see if I can pick up the Peach Momoko cover. When I was at my local shop, they still actually had Blade Runner 2019. They still had some of the Peach Momoko covers there. So,
Bleed Them Dry #4.
Oh, I love that series. That was one of my favorite series from last year.
Devil's Red Bride #4.
Another one of my favorite series from last year.
Yes, the B variant I really, really like. I never bought Heavy. I tried issue 1 and I didn't like it.
Yeah, same. Issue 1 was all right. I know a lot of people liked it, but I think I was just getting overwhelmed with comics I didn't like.
John. Lonely Receiver #5.
And I think this is the last one, or is it a 6 issue?
It does not say.
Okay. Lonely Receiver, another one of my favorite titles from last year.
Also, John, I just wanted to say, after being on your show, I wish I can be as good of a host as you. You handle traffic very well.
Yes.
I was on the show for 5 minutes before I made a smart-ass comment to Chris because he did the greetings. And I'm like, wow, we're all high energy, huh, today? And he's like, hold on, let me get over the top. It was before you came on.
Oh, God.
I probably shouldn't drink when I do these shows. There's a book called Space Bastards coming out by Humanoids. I'm not going to lie, like just the name of it, I'm like, maybe I should check this out.
Yeah.
That is really it for the indies that I see that are kind of almost interesting. And then like I saw some like stuff that if I really had dumb bitch money, I would buy. 100 Bullets Omnibus Volume 1, which I really don't need.
Yeah.
American Vampire 1976 #4. It's finally getting good, but I know you were out long ago.
Yeah.
Reprinting some of the Gail Simone Birds of Prey.
Okay. Are they getting like movie tie-in covers, or
no?
Is it just okay?
Yeah, it's just in trade. If you Magic Class 30, Magic Chat. Never done either. Future State Dark Detective. That's the Mariko Tamaki.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Mora art on that.
Yeah.
There is an Art Germ Wonder Woman cover, 84. Green Lantern Future State.
I'm kind of excited for that one. Just what I was reading, what it's going to be. I enjoy that one.
I'll probably check it out. Justice League Future State. And that is written by Joshua Williamson, so I will be, I'm picking up all of it. Who the fuck am I lying to? But the one that actually, like, I'm buying for this cover alone, I mean, I'm buying it anyway, but the Future State Kara Zor-El Superwoman, there is an Alex Garner cover that is fucking beautiful. By the way, how's Josh doing on his Josh Middleton fan site?
Oh my God. So like everyone, I literally like I have to talk about this story really quick. So I ended up getting, I don't know if it's right here. So if anyone didn't watch on my channel, I ended up getting a couple of back issues from another shop because they didn't like none of the local shops got any of their stuff in. So anyways, I just went like back issue hunting, picked up this beautiful Joshua Middleton cover. So talking with my partner about Joshua Middleton, and I'm like, he's like, man, Joshua Middleton's getting popular all of a sudden. I've been a fan of Joshua Middleton since the beginning. And I'm like, okay, Stan, like whatever. And I'm like, you cannot tell me that the artwork for NYX has really held up over the years. Like, come on. I literally pull NYX off the cover. We get into super nerd fight over like, yes, his artwork is good, but like it's so much better now. Like you can't tell me that this cover
on my comment on your YouTube video
that this cover is the same quality as what you find in NYX. Like I get it. That was anyways, whatever. 10 minutes later, I'm like, did he listen to our conversation? Because Dan, you left a comment on the video that I did saying, man, Joshua Middleton's artwork has improved so much since NYX. And I am like, thank you. And I feel like I basically had to convince my partner, Josh, that you did not, in fact, like listen to our argument that we got into because it could have not been planned better. He's like yelling at me right now. Is he talking in the comments? He's like over here like miming towards someone should be working right now and he's clearly not working.
Oh my
So
Robin Eternal comes out. I really don't care about it, but I'm still gonna pick it up. There's a Daniel Warren Johnson variant.
I feel like there were a couple of covers that I saw by him that I'm like, I don't know, because I love his artwork. So we'll see if I end up picking that up.
Superman Wonder Woman, because it has Yara Flor in it, so I would pick up. There's a Lee Weeks on the A cover. This one is written by Dan Waters, which
I love Dan Waters.
It could be dark.
I don't know if John can see this, but I got this signed. Like literally $4.25. And it was signed.
Oh, his Wonder Woman covers are fantastic right now. Holy shit.
Yeah, but John says this is his favorite Middleton cover.
Favorite. Teen Titans, Dustin Nguyen B variant, which is the one I'll pick up. Rafa Sandoval on art. Gabriel Del Otto cover C for it. If you have like real stupid money to throw around for trash, the Heroes in Crisis, The Price and Other Stories trade paperback, because Heroes in Crisis was garbage. That's basically it.
It's funny how I feel like we always end up saying like, oh man, like next week is really light on stuff, and I still end up spending over $100 at the shop. So we'll see.
Oh. So he's admitting that was his lowest.
Oh, ooh, good point. Good point. Was that him at his lowest? Okay.
He was just a graffiti artist that they pulled up the street. You set yourself up. You set yourself up.
Yep.
That girl, Day of the Dead. He's just over there, probably like.
Yeah, like 10 feet, like 12 feet away from me. So this is, I think that people always say, or, whatever, that they're like, man, like I wish more girls were into nerd stuff. But the reality is that you have to argue with me about the most trivial, like comic book shit all the time. And you have to listen to me nonstop, try to explain crossover, solid blood conspiracy theories, even though you have no clue what the fuck is going on.
I'm not gonna. I had to. Like, Sid came downstairs She was making food, and she just saw me smiling on the couch, reading on my iPad, and she's like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "Jen is so wrong on crossover," and she's like, "Really?"
I know I did say that I was wrong earlier and then I was going to admit that I'm wrong. I am not going to admit that I was wrong until crossover is over. I'm just not right yet.
I had like the biggest smile on my face. I was just like, not as big a smile on her face when she messaged you when she moved in.
Oh, about the
yeah.
You can't really see him because he just kind of like blends in with the couch.
Yeah,
But
she was like, I just messaged Jen. I was like, and then all of a sudden my phone went off. I was like, yeah, not going to talk about what it was.
Yeah,
but
I'll let this one go.
Good, you got your laugh out of it.
I did. So. I really did.
So I think that's pretty much it. We're an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. I've got a hungry cat that I need to feed.
Yes. Do you need to do the website work for Josh's Josh Middleton OnlyFans?
Josh Middleton OnlyFans. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Where it's just old work, new work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Or is that his Tumblr page? Is it still live?
Oh, goodness.
He's probably like, fuck you.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for joining us. You can catch Jen later on tonight on Hero and the Kid, I think at 9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. my time. So I get like a 2-hour break. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can go like walk to this store. So we'll see what I get accomplished in the next 2 hours.
And then Sunday, your casual comics chat with Mars. And
with Mars.
29th, you will be skipping Hero and the Kid to do the
Rodney Barnes
with Rodney Barnes. And Gore, if you're still in there, read the book and then hop in the chat with us when we do that show if you've got questions, because I'm excited for it again. And
we're gonna have D from FTO Nerd Talks, and I actually I got to do like a sit down. I say a sit down with him, but seriously, like he is so cool. I could sit down with him and like talk to him for hours. He's such a cool guy. He does a lot of stuff. He's on TikTok. I love TikTok, if you don't know that. And he's on TikTok doing some really fun like comic book stuff. So I highly recommend following D from FTO Nerd Talks.
And the Dune-Over will be back. We don't have a date yet, but it will be back. Also, like always, check out Friends of the Show, John's Comics with Kids.
Saturday morning show. It's my favorite Saturday morning show. Sorry to say that.
Rod, Just a Rican in his comics. Hero and the Kid. Go check out Cinia Reads, Read Across the Stars.
Mars, that comic girl who does a show with me on Sundays. But she does her own fabulous videos too. So check her out as well.
Also Chaos and Comics, who joined us on John's channel. It was really cool talking with him about X-Men, because he's commented on our stuff forever. So it was actually cool to put a face to the name. And be good to each other. The election's finally been finalized, I guess.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I can't. I don't even know what more to say about the shit going on. Like, it's just horrifying. And also, thank you to Film Noir Girl Tina for your nice comments. Always love to hear from you.
And I also want to say, I know I said it earlier, but seriously, Bullseye Bob, Everything Comics, thank you so much for sending these to me. Loved Kanto. So glad that I got that. Cannot wait to get into Immortal Hulk. So Everything Comics, Bullseye Bob does his own YouTube with Everything Comics, but he's also on Comics with Bueller and does like a comics and coffee and comics chat. So check that out too.
So thank you everybody for joining us, and we shall see you next week.
Bye. Bye-bye.